So we entered the vestibule and, oh, pardon me. Oh, excuse me. Now if you do jump on any furniture, you do lose court approval, so that's resounding the theme via gameplay. That's good. But I still think jogging into people and they react like they're actual people in an environment, kind of like Assassin's Creed and not an immovable object, would have been a nice touch too.
Is that the Inquisitor?
A martyr? The Maker has an odd sense of humor.
Wait, how was I a martyr? What rumor was that? Either way, now would be a really great time to jump into that conversation, right? I'm standing right here and the topic is me. Why can't I just talk to these people?
This dress uniform is preposterous. Formal armor would have been better.
I need to have this jacket let out a little.
With all the resources you collect and all the side missions you do, and this being a ball where appearances matter, and Liliana being a shoe nut bar, you'd think you'd have the option of influencing the court by giving you the option to design your own dress uniform and shoes. I guess it could have been a lot worse.
If nothing else, the Inquisition backing Gasbard would make Celine nervous. You know how pious she is.
How could the Empress afford to renovate the palace without war going on?
I heard that it wasn't renovations at all. The palace was damaged by Gaspard's catapults.
I'm still curious what war is going on here. While it's an interesting tidbit, I doubt it's true, but it would certainly be something to investigate whether Gasbard did fire upon the palace and whether the Empress is actually doing real renovations, and the cause of that. Still not really related to our plot, but like any good mystery, you never know.
Is there any progress on the Helmi expedition to Amgarak?
Our Stace remains steadfast in blocking all attempts to get into the Tig.
Well, there's some info that doesn't even appear to be relevant to anything. Mysteries do tend to have superfluous data, especially at a grandiose ball with all sorts of random characters, but what was that about?
Interesting.
Wait, what's interesting? The plaque? I don't see anything interesting here or relevant to what we're doing. Does the Inquisitor just like plaques?
Good to know.
Okay, what's good to know? Share the secret. What just happened? You were eavesdropping to ambient whispers. What kind of pointless mechanic is this? You've got an entire series of levels and apparently important characters running around, and you can't tell the audience what you just heard? At least with the dwarves, we had something to analyze. This is literally nothing. And the game just says you're fulfilling some nondescript side quest for something. What are we doing with all these whispers, or what is the point of the great blackmail hunt? Who are we blackmailing? How could random tidbits of our blackmail be for any one person or a group? What is this mechanic good for if we can't understand anything?
Good to know.
English, motherfucker! Do you speak it?
So we go talk to Gasbard, and we enter the next room and get introduced.
Grand Duke Gasbard de Chalon, and accompanying him, Lord Inquisitor Trevelyan of the Ostwick Circle of Magi, vanquisher of the rebel mages of Ferelden, crusher of the vile apostates of the Mage Underground.
We stopped a mage under... What mage underground? Wasn't that in Dragon Age 2?
Champion of the Blessed Andraste herself.
Did you see their faces? Priceless.
No. And their opinion of me hasn't changed, so why do I care?
Portia, Calogera, Philomena,
Get on with it.
Pantagast, 14th cousin to the King of Navarra, 9 times removed, hero of Orlais, right hand of the Divine.
Isn't the Divine dead? Maybe she's the ex-right hand?
Cullen Stanton Rutherford of Honley, commander of the forces of the Inquisition, former Knight Commander of Kirkwall.
You were? But I sided with the mages in Dragon Age 2. That's not what happened in Kirkwall. Well, I guess it's not really relevant, but why can't BioWare check its own lore?
Lady Liliana, Nightingale of the Imperial Court.
And what exactly is a Nightingale? What does she do for the Imperial Court? I thought I'm in charge of her as my spy master, right? Is she someone else's spy master too? There's no lore in the Codex in Dragon Age that describes what a Nightingale is or what the role is. And there's like the Greek mythos of Philomela, but that doesn't really connect to anything. So what is a Nightingale of the court?
Veteran of the Fifth Blight, Seneschal of the Inquisition.
You're my Seneschal? Really? I thought you were my spy master. You're in charge of all the meals and the servants? Well, maybe she gave that title so no one would know what she truly was. That would make more sense and probably match with Liliana's character.
And left hand of the divine.
Ex-left hand. Holy Jesus, how can these guys forget their frickin' Pope died? Or is it a cultural attitude to believe they exist till another takes their place? No game. Cullen is right behind me. No, we're not going to the war table. We just introduced ourselves at Halam Sharal. You goddamn gooey notification message. Oh my god. Yeah, that's not immersion breaking at all.
Lord Inquisitor, we welcome you to the Winter Palace. Allow us to present our cousin, the Grand Duchess of Leeds, without whom this gathering would never have been possible.
What an unexpected pleasure. I was not aware the Inquisition would be part of our festivities. We will certainly speak later, Inquisitor.
Oh, so you're the assassin. Look, it's suspect number 0. We didn't know you were coming to the ball either, and apparently this entire ball wouldn't have happened without you? Yeah, that's not suspicious at all. In typical murder mysteries, one never presents characters in the second chapter, especially having this kind of relation to the setting. Now, this isn't that bad. After all, we are at a foreign masquerade ball. There's lots of people we don't know. But presenting a character in this way, telling us that this entire scenario wouldn't have happened without her, and when our plot is to figure out who's the would-be assassin, well, it's fairly obvious a player would see her with some scrutiny.
Your arrival at court is like a cool wind on a summer's day.
Charge.
I'm delighted to be here, Your Majesty.
We have heard much of your exploits, Inquisitor. They have made grand tales for long evenings. How do you find Halam Shiral?
I've never seen anything to equal the Winter Palace.
We hope you will find time to take in some of its beauties. Feel free to enjoy the pleasures of the ballroom, Inquisitor. We look forward to watching you dance.
That small exchange was kind of important because it resounds the theme and the given attitude one must present to play the grand game. 1, the first set of dialogue options allow you to play the part or just drop the facade and get to business. The second set was also a form of providing positive responses, and the last one being to simply call off the ball. This adds a layer of personality to the protagonist and not just your typical good guy, bad guy responses. Now, if the entire evening was like that, where one schmoozes with all sorts of different characters, trying to get info out of them, who to trust, who to lie to, that would be working with the premise. Be an Inquisitor and play your part, or act like a bully and get work done. All right, that kind of sounds like the Paragon Renegade stuff, but it's still good. Immediately, though, I thought of how funny a sassy hawk would have been in this scenario. So, we can go talk to Josephine and her sister for giggles, but she actually does ask you about the events in your past to clarify what happened. Now, that would have been a great opportunity to streamline all the complex discussions or choices you've made so far that you could have had with everyone at the ball into a series of simple responses to questions about you and your exploits.
The story's a little more than wistful thinking, my lady.
Oh, how dull Redcliffe must have been then.
Yvette probably would have been happy to play the role of one of our spies or rumor mongers or gossipers and gone about sharing all the info we just told her. She was certainly interested in the stories, and so it's kind of curious why the game didn't allow this simple way of influencing the court, or at least allow players to get some influence.